Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Maverick Baking and welcome to Veganuary 2021. The essentials have been bought, the more essential junk food has been bought, and we are ready to take animals off the menu for just 30 days in this month of January. Mostly this year, this is less of a kind of challenge. It's less of a lifestyle change. It's more just anything to kind of differentiate the months that are all kind of blending into one ever since March 2020. So for this entire month, you won't see any meat, butter, cheese, milk, eggs, honey, anything like that. We're going totally vegan for a month. And I'll be sharing some vegan baking recipes and hopefully some nice kind of plant-based inspiration for you guys if you are trying to drop some meat out of your diet too. Also, I just want this to be some nice chill vlog content. So without further ado, let's get into it. What are we having for breakfast today, sir?
Don't know. Vanilla.
So we have some fancy vanilla yogurt, and you may remember, if you've been here since last year, we have some fancy Kellogg's granola, which just happens to be vegan. And it's pretty good. It's very coconutty. Look at this service. What a gorgeous sunny January day. How do you feel?
Wet.
Show me our treasure, sir. So we've just been to visit our friend at Roots and we have some signature loaded fries to enjoy in like 2-degree, windy, cold, rainy January weather. Was it worth it? So it's fries with crack sauce, with red cabbage, spring onions, crispy onions, vegan cheese, all sorts of goodies. And what a view to go. Happy Sunday, my loves. So it's still that kind of stage of the year where there are a few leftover Christmas bits. No one really knows what time of the day it is or what day it is. You have no routine and I love it. So I'm just about to make dinner just now. We've had a pretty productive day doing the usual kind of post-Christmas start of the year clear out. I've done some baking, just testing at this point. And yeah, there's been a lot kind of going on. So for breakfast, I made us some porridge with a little bit of Biscoff stirred through. If you didn't know already, Biscoff is vegan. Wonderful. Thank you, Lotus. And I topped it with, as I mentioned, a couple of leftover Christmas bits, being some frozen raspberries I had for drinks around Christmas time and some torn up panettone, which technically speaking is not vegan, but it was there to be used up and I wasn't going to see it go to waste. So we just kind of sprinkled a bit over our vegan oat milk porridge. So don't hang me out to dry just yet. We didn't really need any lunch because we had that at like 11:30, 12 o'clock. So I'm about to make us some dinner just now. In the familiar spirit of Maverick Baking, we're just kind of making this up as we go along. But so far we have some kind of thinly sliced onions, which are just kind of sauteing away, along with some super thinly sliced carrots. I have some courgettes, which we just had in the fridge, and some frozen kind of Mediterranean vegetables. And by that I mean there's some aubergine and peppers in there. And I'm going to kind of group all this together with just a tin of tomatoes, some herbs and spices. Maybe serve it up with some couscous. Yeah, that seems like it'll be vaguely resembling a meal. So this is a first attempt at a kind of vegan, regular vanilla cake. As you can see, I haven't gone too ridiculously perfectionist with the decoration, but this is mostly just to kind of test if the cake and the frosting are going to be something worth sticking on the blog or dropping as a recipe in the description below. But I think it's about time we looked inside and tasted it. So in this first test run, basic vanilla cake, which I already have a fear might be slightly too claggy, some Biscoff and some vanilla frosting. Such elegance. Happy Monday, lovelies. It is day 3, I think, or day 4. I can't remember. But today is a heavy baking day to make up for last night's failures. Everything in life is a success or a lesson, and last night's cake was a lesson. Annoyingly, let me give you a kind of close-up again. Annoyingly, even though it turned out pretty and it actually looks fine, you know, we have the vanilla frosting, which is held up well in texture, and the cake and the Biscoff layers in between that. Even though it tastes great, it has a nice kind of vanilla flavor the whole way through, and it doesn't taste weirdly vegan as some things can. The texture's all wrong. You maybe can't really see it too clearly here. Even though the cake is baked all the way through, it has this kind of dense clagginess, almost like a brownie, which would probably be desirable in a chocolate cake, but is definitely not the case in a vanilla cake. So we are rebaking. That's what is going on here. Please do excuse leftover Christmas cake. That's what we're doing here. I don't know how this one is going to be. I haven't unveiled it yet. Please do enjoy the noise from this truck. Thank you very much. So I'm hoping that this one is going to be a little bit kind of better in texture, but you know, I have the whole month to experiment, so really I'm in no rush. Plus, we've just found out that Scotland is going to be in like full lockdown quarantine until the end of the month, so there's plenty time for baking. Anyway, the other recipe we are getting done today, as you can see by this utterly just disgraceful amount of mess, really, I'm going to be trying out some vegan muffins, which are going to involve a little bit of raspberry, the frozen kind, so it's perfectly fine for January, and some of my favorite cooking chocolate from Cocoa Runners. This is their 63% dark cooking chocolate, which is just kind of incidentally vegan. I will let you know when the recipe goes live, because this is test number 1 and we have no idea how it's going to go. And if it's judging by my lack of vegan experience with this cake, it may take a few goes to get it right. But that's what we're here for, and I don't share anything with you guys until it is right. Promise. But other than that, today has been going fine. I had another bowl of that kind of Alpro vegan vanilla yogurt for breakfast. I actually love that stuff. It tastes like custard, and when you have it with granola, it just feels like dessert for breakfast. So big fan of that. Little dose of protein as well. For lunch, it will probably just be whatever I can find, because I have some chocolate bars to review for you guys, which I will show you right now. We're going to be reviewing these bars from Pico. Now, this is a new brand I have never kind of seen until some point in December when I saw these in our nearest big Sainsbury's. I found them in 3 flavors and they're all completely vegan and organic. So I'm excited to taste those and see if they will be kind of a new favorite or one to miss. Chef, what are we having for dinner tonight? We have some vegan bacon, which is from, do you remember the brand?
No.
Neither do I. But we have some vegan bacon we need to cook. In here we have some rice, steaming away. And in here we have some onions, we have them everywhere apparently. Some onions, some mushrooms, some spring onions too. And yeah, we're just gonna sort of make up a dish based on that. You hungry?
Right.
Good morning. Today is my first day back at work after the kind of weird broken up Christmas New Year period, and I feel everything. But we are still going strong. Today's breakfast is going to start with a banana. Classic, timeless, love her. We're going to follow up with some muffins that I actually managed to successfully make yesterday. So these, if I can get the cling film off one-handed, these beauties are the vegan raspberry dark chocolate muffins I made yesterday, and they've actually turned out pretty well. They've got a nice kind of muffin top, don't we all? And yeah, they taste pretty good. They're kind of nice and fluffy. Juicy raspberries, big dark chocolate pieces using the chocolate from Cocoa Runners. So by the time this video is up, the recipe for these lovely muffins will be posted on my blog, maverickbaking.com. I will leave a link and maybe even the full recipe in the description below. These are super easy. Literally a case of just mixing some wet ingredients into some dry ingredients, adding some chocolate and raspberries, bang it in the oven, and you have some good snacks slash breakfast food that definitely do not taste vegan. You won't miss any eggs, butter, anything from these. So that's going to be breakfast today. Crispy! So dinner tonight, we're back on a kind of meat substitute, but we've made things a bit spicy. So we have some roasted baby potatoes that we just had in the fridge, left over from last month actually, with some rosemary, some paprika, some oil, some salt and pepper. Nothing super fancy, but getting nice and crispy, which we like to see. We have these chorizo shroom dogs. So these are mostly made of mushrooms. No idea how they're going to taste, but they smell quite good. And this is basically just a really lazy version of buffalo cauliflower. Obviously, it's not the super crispy kind you would get in a bar or from a kind of vegan takeaway kind of thing, but it's just some roasted cauliflower with a bit of salt and a kind of oil hot sauce mixture thing on top, just for some flavor. So pretty decent if you ask me. Good morning.
Morning.
So at the end of week 1 of Veganuary, or coming up to the end of week 1 of Veganuary, how do you feel?
Bloated.
So today's lunch is leftovers. It's a Friday. It's been fine so far. You know, no super huge mental or physical improvements, just as last year. Just your body struggling to deal with the extra fiber. It definitely didn't get over the Christmas period, but other than that, things are going okay. But yes, let me show you today's lunch. So we have some leftover lentil soup from the huge pot I made yesterday. This is just a classic kind of Scottish granny soup. Leeks, onions, carrots, stock cubes, lentils. Nothing fancy, but filling, full of protein. It's good stuff. And some leftover tomato sauce and some couscous from the kind of meatballs and couscous we had last night. We're just going to kind of pick at everything and see how it goes. So nothing super fancy, but this is lunch. it is the final night of week 1 of Veganuary. Dinner is on the way. In the pan here, we have a mixture of some kind of handfuls of frozen veg, like peppers and the aubergine, as well as some of the leftover fresh veg from last night in the carrots and the green beans. So we're just going to stir frying this together. We're going to have it with some noodles, some tempeh and cauliflower, which I already have in the oven, cooking away in a little kind of satay hot sauce marinade kind of thing. Also, today has been another foray into the vegan cake. This is my 3rd time making it. Hopefully, this will be the one. Hopefully. And that brings us to the end of week 1 of Veganuary 2021. The scenery has been slightly more limited than January 2020, but it's still been fun. It's still been nice to kind of get creative and get outside of the same eating and living routine that we've all been reliving since March 2020. And aside from, you know, the minor bloating that comes with any change in diet, everything's been absolutely fine. I am super happy to be sharing that vegan chocolate raspberry muffin recipe with you guys. The vegan vanilla cake, even after 3 tests, still not quite there yet, but I'll have it to you as soon as possible. In the meantime, that is all I have time for in this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're staying as happy and healthy as you can, and I will see you for the next one.